that is operating costing. Please go to page number 162. Operating costing. In cost accounting itself, various techniques are there. Those are unit costing, process costing, job costing, operating costing, marginal costing. These are various techniques under cost accounting itself. We discussed already unit costing, process costing, job costing. So in today's class, let us learn about operating costing. It is nothing but it is a technique of costing which is applied in service-oriented organizations, means the organizations who operates with services, just like transport companies, hospitals, hotels, electricity companies, airways, etc. Usually, these companies provide standardized services within the undertaking. According to CIMA, I will show the book. The service costing is the costing of specific services and functions like canteens, maintenance, personnel, etc. This may be referred as service centers, departments, or functions. So usually they deal with operating of services. In those organizations, they adopt operating costing. So in this method, how they will be calculating cost per unit? This is the concept what we are going to learn in this unit. First, let us see about the features or characteristics about this operating costing. Here, a uniform services are rendered to the customers. If you take railways, uniform services means they provide various services, but under one service, group of people will be availing a particular service. Sleeper class, general class, AC, likewise, many services they will be offering. So for this category, they will offer one type of fare. For this, they will be offering one type of fare. So this uniformity among one category. Uniform services rendered to the customers. Many processes and stages are involved in converting basic material and facilities to the ultimate services. Usually, in order to form a final product, many stages are required. This is applicable for every production-oriented companies. And here also, it is applicable. This is the main feature. Here, the distinction between fixed and variable cost is very important because economies and scale of operations affect the unit cost of service. Under this operating costing system, we are going to classify the cost into fixed cost, but we are not going to mention as fixed, but we will be using the word standing expenses. Standing expenses. Semi-variable. Those are maintenance charges or expenses. Variable, we are going to call those as operating charges. Fixed costs are nothing but the costs which are going to remain constant irrespective of the level of capacity. For example, rent of a particular building or location, salary to the manager. This is going to be fixed irrespective of the level of their operations. Such type of costs are called as fixed cost. Semi-variable. These costs are going to be fixed to some extent, or we can say that to some extent those will be fixed. After that, variable in nature means going to vary with the proportionate of output or proportionate of services they are offering. Variable, these are completely varying along with the level of production, level of output, level of operations. So in this system, we are going to divide the cost into 3 categories. Under cost accounting system, this cost unit identification of cost unit is a main issue. It is going to be used for ascertaining of cost. Usually, the cost units applied in service-oriented organizations might be like this. We know very well, if we take an example of transport company, that is goods transport company, the cost unit is going to be how much amount is required per ton per kilometer. Likewise, we will be distributing అంటే ఏంటి ఇక్కడ ఒక కిలోమీటర్ కి ఒక టన్ కి ఎంత కాస్ట్ అవుతుంది. అదే విధంగా ఒక హోటల్ కనుక తీసుకుంటే ఒక పర్సన్ కి పర్ రూమ్ కావచ్చు పర్ డే కి ఎంత అవుతుంది. సో ఈ విధంగా కాస్ట్ యూనిట్ అలొకేషన్ ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇన్ దిస్ ఆపరేటింగ్ కాస్టింగ్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ ద హోల్ కాస్ట్ అకౌంటింగ్. ఎట్లయితే మనము లిక్విడ్స్ అయితే కనుక లీటర్స్ లో కొలుస్తాం, మెజర్మెంట్ ఉంటుంది కదా. క్లాత్ అనుకోండి మీటర్స్ లో అసర్టైన్ చేస్తాము. అట్లాగే ఇక్కడ కూడా ఒక యూనిట్ కి కాస్ట్ ఎంత అవుతుంది అనేది కాస్ట్ అకౌంటింగ్ లో మనము క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తాము. సో ఆ యూనిట్ ఏంటి ఇక్కడ అనేది ఇక్కడ ఉంటుంది. This 163 page, in 163 page, you may find this one. Means he will be providing a data relating to a transport company or a hotel or a hospital. Based upon that, you should calculate cost per unit. So for that, first you should identify what is the cost unit for different nature of businesses. So for hospital, it is a patient per day or bed per day, electricity, kilowatt hours. For cinema halls, per seat per show. దాన్ని బట్టి వాడు అసర్టైన్ చేసుకుంటాడు. ఒక్కొక్క పర్సన్ ఒక సినిమా వ్యూ చేయాలి అంటే గనక వాడికి ఎంత కాస్ట్ మనం చార్జ్ చేయాలి. First of all, he will be calculating the total cost based upon that divided by number of seats. How many he is providing in that particular hall. Here the main focus will be on the transport costing itself. It is applied in various organizations, but we'll be discussing this transport costing itself. It includes water, air, road and railways. The objectives of motor transport costing may be summarized as follows. The main motto is to ascertain cost per unit. And also, in order to get an accurate idea for going a quotation or fixing the rates or putting the price for the quotation. If you know about the cost, to some extent, we can put a figure for the quotation. మనకు అసలు ఐడియానే లేకపోతే కొటేషన్ వేయలేము. అందుకని ఇక్కడ ఏంటి, in order to provide an accurate basis for quotation and fixing the rates. And also, in order to ensure that all journeys have been carried out in proper time, fuel consumed is not excessive, and the tires are properly maintained. As I told, the charges are categorized into 3 ways. For each category, we should minimize the cost. Then only ultimate cost per unit is going to be less. Then only for the service oriented organizations, efficiency is going to be increased, profits are going to be increased. And for many other benefits, this operating costing is going to be adopted by the transport companies. So here it is classification of costs, standard or fixed charges. So these are constant, irrespective of the kilometers, irrespective of the production, usually we are going to call, but here it is a transport company, that's why irrespective of the kilometers. Examples, the salary of operating managers, supervisors, etc. Insurance, license fee, supervision and interest on capital. After borrowing the capital on interest, whether we use it in the business or not, irrespective of that situation, we need to pay interest to that party, means creditors. So that is why it is called as fixed charge. Maintenance charge, nothing but semi-variable. To some extent, these are fixed in nature, to some extent variable in nature. That's why maintenance charges are semi-variable. These are tires, tubes, repair signed, paintings, overhauling, etc. Means after viewing the data relating to a transport company, we should be in a position to categorize the cost into these 3 ways. Here again, running charges are variable charges or operating charges. These are going to be vary more or less in direct proportion to kilometers. Means these are going to vary along with the level of operations. It is nothing but direct proportion to kilometers. That is sometimes more or less. We cannot say that that proportion is going to be remain same, but more or less these are going to be vary along with the operations. Means here how many kilometers they are running. For transport companies, please remember here, the costing unit is passenger kilometer. Passenger kilometer, often selected. For this purpose, how we are going to calculate these passenger kilometer when the data is given pertaining to a transportation company? Let us see. Here, one example they have mentioned in page number 165. Let us see that. They are saying as they are having buses, number of buses they are running. Ten buses. In a month, they are operating only 25 days. In 25 days, these 10 buses, they are covering the route consisting of 20 kilometers each bus. Each bus is traveling 20 kilometers. And they are making 4 round trips. 4 round trips. To and fro. Here, this to and fro, one way is 20 kilometers. So, for one round trip, 20 plus 20, 40 kilometers. Like this 40 kilometers, 4 round trips. For each round trip, it is consisting of 40 kilometers because for one way, 20 kilometers. For round trip, it is 20 plus 20, that is 40 kilometers. And 90% of the capacity only traveling, means 10% is idle. So based upon that, how we are going to calculate passenger kilometer? Why we need to calculate passenger kilometer means it is a cost unit for transport companies. For this, first of all, we need to find out total number of passenger kilometers. Based upon that, in the next problem, how much amount is costing for each passenger kilometer? We are going to ascertain. So for that, first let us see how to calculate total passenger kilometer. Passenger kilometers. This is the cost unit. Total passenger kilometers. For that, we need to multiply number of buses and how many days they are operating and the kilometers and how many times they are running, not a single time. One round trip, trips 2, 3, 4. Likewise, they are running 4 round trips. This is for total kilometers. Total passenger kilometers in the next step we will do. If you multiply this one, you will get 40,000 kilometers. In order to get total passenger kilometers, we should multiply this total kilometers with the capacity of passengers, but this is having each bus 40 seats, but utilizing only 90%. So that must be charged to 90% of the passengers itself. So 90 by 100. So this is total passenger kilometers. By knowing this, what we are going to get, for example, if the transport company is spending 50,000 rupees in order to accommodate this investment on buses or rent, as well as salary to the drivers and depreciation and many other, let us take 5 lakhs. In order to compute the cost for each passenger kilometers, we need to divide the total cost with the total passenger kilometers. Then you will get cost of passenger kilometers. So in order to calculate cost of each passenger kilometer, we need to know total passenger kilometers. So in order to know this one, we require this one. Now let us try to solve the second problem, which is in page number 167. Please refer that one. Here, work out in appropriate cost sheet from the unit cost per passenger kilometers. Here it is. He is asking unit cost per passenger kilometers for the year 97 to 98 for a fleet of passenger buses run by a transporting company from the following figures extracted from its book. What we need to calculate? Unit cost per passenger kilometer. Let us see how it is going to be calculated. In order to calculate this cost per passenger kilometers, first we should know total cost in order to run that particular travel company, travel agency. Then how many passenger kilometers are there? If we know these two values, it is easy to calculate unit cost per passenger. So for that, what is the data? Let us see. Here 5 passenger buses costing respectively 50,000, 1,20,000, 45, 55 and 80. So they invested this much of amount on buses. And depreciation they have mentioned, repairs and maintenance, wages, all those. So వీటిని కాస్ట్ షీట్ లో ముందు ఏ విధంగా టోటల్ కాస్ట్ అనేది క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తాము, తర్వాత టోటల్ ప్యాసింజర్ కిలోమీటర్స్ బట్టి how we will be getting cost per each passenger kilometer నే చూద్దాం. It is a cost sheet. The date they have mentioned, otherwise just leave it. Cost sheet will be having this pro forma, particulars, inner amount column, outer amount column. Classification of costs, I already told, standing, maintenance and operating. So let us write these three names, standing charges. ఏంటి మొత్తం కాస్ట్ ఎంత అవుతుందో అసర్టైన్ చేసుకొని అది డివైడెడ్ బై ప్యాసింజర్ కిలోమీటర్స్ చేస్తే వచ్చేది ఏంటి, కాస్ట్ పర్ ఈచ్ ప్యాసింజర్ కిలోమీటర్స్. సో వేజెస్ ఆఫ్ డ్రైవర్స్, ఇక్కడ చూడండి ముందు, they have given the data for 97 to 98, means for whole year. Wages of drivers, 10 drivers are required. For each driver 100 rupees per month. Per year we are calculating, means that should be multiplied with 12. Again, cleaners, $20 cleaners are required. Wages for them 50 rupees for 12 months. So totally for wages 24,000. Interest charges, how can we calculate? First we should know the investment. So we should sum up all these amounts for each bus, then you will be getting 3,50,000. So 3,50,000 into 4%. That is 14,000. Director's fee, they have given for monthly basis. So we are converting for the whole year. That's why we are multiplying with 12. Office charges 1,000. Again we are converting for annum. License tax and miscellaneous. Let us see. Here, license and taxes, 1,000 rupees for every 6 months. That's why we are multiplying with 2. So for year, they are paying twicely. Garage rent. Rent of 6 garages, 50 rupees per each month. So they are having 6 garages per month, 50 rupees per annum is equal to into 12. నేను బుక్ లో ఉన్న ఫిగర్ వేస్తున్నాను, ఒకసారి టాలీ చేసి చూసుకోండి. సో టోటల్లీ just a moment. The fixed cost is this much. Next, maintenance charges. Repairs, spare parts like that, tires, tubes, all those are called as maintenance charges. So those are repair side, maintenance. Actually, they incurred 56,000 towards that. But వాటిని కొంత అమ్మడం ద్వారా, టైర్స్ ట్యూబ్స్ అమ్మడం ద్వారా కొంత వచ్చింది. Next classification is operating charges. Nothing but variable charges. Here, repair side maintenance, small working notes is there. What he is saying as on 3,50,000, this is the cost of all the buses. On cost, 20% will be yearly depreciation. On yearly depreciation, 80% of that amount is repairs. So here it is. Please check this one. So that is depreciation. The 3,50,000 into 20%. That is 70,000. Completely 1,80,000 is the cost.
Ma'am.
Passenger kilometers. 900 passengers were carried out over 1600 kilometers. So totally 1900 passengers, 1600 kilometers, that comes to 1,80,000, sorry, 14 lakhs 40,000.
Ma'am,
So total kilometers, total passenger kilometers. We need cost per passenger kilometer. So 1,80,000 divided by 14,40,000. So based upon this cost, they will be charging prices or ticket rates from point to point. So this is cost per passenger kilometer, total cost divided by total passenger kilometers. The resultant figure will be cost per passenger kilometer. This is the second example in your question, in your material. Any doubt regarding this problem? First, all the costs are categorized into three ways: standing, maintenance, and operating charges. After adding all the expenses, we will be getting the total cost. Then we need to calculate total passenger kilometers. So total cost divided by total passenger kilometers is equal to cost per passenger kilometers. Shall I take the next example?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. In the third example, Mr. S owns a fleet of taxis and the following information is available from the records. He's having 10 taxis. Cost of each taxi is 54,600. Salary of the manager 700 per month. Here, the salary of manager, salary of accountant is mentioned in month, but they are looking after 10 taxis. So per one taxi means you should divide with 10. Then only you will be getting the idea for one taxi, because he's asking us to calculate the cost of running a taxi per kilometer. So these are for 10 taxis. Salary for accountant, salary of cleaner, mechanics, garage rent, means all these are for 10 taxis. Insurance premium, annual taxes, driver's salary, annual repairs. In order to calculate the total passenger kilometers, indirectly given the total life of taxi is about 2 lakh kilometers. This is useful for calculating the depreciation. Based upon the life of the taxi, depreciation depends. Here, the taxi runs 3,000 kilometers in a month, and 30% of the distance has to run without any passenger. This is help. So he's asking us to calculate cost of running a taxi per kilometer. So calculation of operating cost sheet. Within brackets, taxi per kilometer. How many kilometers they are running? Each taxi is 3,000 kilometers. First, let us take fixed charges. Let us take one by one. Salary is 700 per month. It is applicable for 10 taxis. That's why we are dividing. Manager. This is managers. Next one is accountant salary is 500 per month. Similarly for 10 taxis. Cleaner. Mechanics. Please remember, here we are taking for taxi per kilometer. Next, driver's salary. Here, Salary of manager, salary of accountant, salary of cleaner we have taken. Mechanics. Garage rent, let us take later. Driver's salary. Here it is per taxi. That's why straight away we can take 350. Next one is garage rent. That is also for 10 taxis. That's why we are dividing the 10. Insurance premium, they mentioned as 5% per annum. 5% on what? On total investment. Each taxi is 24,600. Not sorry, 54,600, but 5% is the rate. So that is equal to 2,730. It should be multiplied with 12 or divided by 12, depends upon the data. Here he given the data regarding the month itself. Per month they have given salary, cleaners, mechanics. Okay, that can be converted into year or that can be converted into month, but uniformly ఇక్కడ మనం నెలకి తీసుకుంటే ఈ కిలోమీటర్స్ కూడా నెలకే ఉండేలాగా చూసుకోవాలి. ఇది సంవత్సరానికి ఉంటే ఇది సంవత్సరానికి. సో ఇక్కడ a taxi runs in all 3,000 kilometers in a month అని ఇచ్చాడు. So that's why no need to calculate per annum here. Why I'm telling this? Because here we calculated as multiplied with 12, because ఇక్కడ మనకి 900 passengers were carried over 1,600 kilometers during the year అని ఇచ్చాడు. అందుకని మనం ఏం చేస్తాం, ఇక్కడ 12 చేత మల్టిప్లై చేసాం. ఇక్కడ మంత్ కని ఇచ్చాడు. సో నో నీడ్ ఆఫ్ క్యాలిక్యులేటింగ్ ఆర్ మల్టిప్లైయింగ్ విత్ 12. You please observe the difference. So this is per annum. That's why we should divide with 12. That is 227 rupees. Next one is annual tax. Annual tax they have given as 900 per taxi. So 900 this is annual tax, straight away they have given. So it It should be divided with 12. Repairs. Annual repairs, standing repairs. Means fixed repairs, they are 13,000 per taxi. So if you summation of these expenses will comes to 975. Now let us take variable costs. Here the life of the each taxi is 2 lakh kilometers. So if they run 2 lakhs kilometers, that is going to exhaust the value total is 54,600. But here they ran only 3,000 kilometers. So that's why for 3,000 kilometers, what is the depreciation? If we cross multiply this one, you will get 819. Petrol cost. Please go to last para. For 10 kilometers, it is costing 4.41. For 3,000 kilometers, how much? Likewise, you do cross multiplication. Oil, other sundries. $10.50 for 100 kilometers. For 3,000, how much? Comes to 2,457. If you add these two, just a moment. So you'll get 3,432.83. So this is the total cost, fixed and variable altogether. Now we need to ascertain total kilometers. Run 3,000 kilometers, but 30% capacity is idle. So we need to consider only 70% of that. So 2,100 kilometers. So now what you should do? This total cost divided by total passenger kilometers. You will get 1.635. So 3432.83 divided by 2,100. Here total cost per cost per kilometer per taxi. Not for 10 taxis, per taxi. This is how we are going to ascertain cost per unit in operating cost. Likewise, few more illustrations are there. Multiplying with 12 or dividing with 12 depends upon for how many kilometers, whether they have given for monthly data or per annum. Based upon that, you should go like this. To practice the similar problems, which are up to 6 or 7. If you are having any doubts, you please let me know in the next class. So already completed this in offline classes itself. Job and contract, process, operating. So I would like to take this reconciliation of cost and financial accounts in the next class, because 2-3 weeks are left. Based upon that, I will be completing the portion.